DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is honestly a pretty epic camera. We're going to review the whole thing today. 1-inch sensor in the size of your palm is very rare. GoPro, Osmo Action 4, they all do not have 1-inch sensors. So the fact that this has one, it's like you have a Mavic in your hand. There's a bunch of other features. Active Track 6.0 works amazing. We'll review everything, but we also have a side quest. We are going to go to Shenzhen DJI headquarters. We're in Hong Kong right now. Bit of a mission. A visa costs a lot of money. We got a lot of traveling to do, so let's hope we can make and actually go inside DJI headquarters. Maybe see a few of these, get some opinions from the pros. I'm supposed to speak some Chinese, so don't know how that's gonna go, but let's get this thing started. Alright, so we have made it to Shenzhen. It has been a process to get here, getting through customs. I've spent like $200 on a visa just to get here. But this is the onboard mic. Very loud construction right next to me. Dlog M automatic exposure. This is a quick image quality test. Let's hop in the cab and go to DJI headquarters and we'll unpack some more. Alright, so we've hopped out the cab. Holy crap, we are very close to the DJI headquarters. We're using the active track, which is why this thing is so good. I'm just walking, making sure I don't get run over. And this thing has tracked me great. It's a great vlog. And another best thing about this mic is we've got the microphone that connects right to the DJI Pocket 3, which that is extremely handy, which really just makes this thing a content creation beast. I'm getting backlit right now, which probably isn't very ideal, but right here is supposedly where the DJI headquarters are. So we're gonna go infiltrate them right now, which is gonna be interesting. A day ago, I literally found out I could get invited at like 12 AM last night. So I don't even know if we can get in. I don't know if they'll show me anything. We'll see what happens, but you know, let's give it a go. So eventually we made it to DJI headquarters and I had an amazing time using my broken Chinese. Honestly, it was just pretty surreal being able to go to a company which I've admired, I guess, for so long, using the original Mavic to now. And the fact that I'm allowed an HQ is just very special to me. Honestly, I don't really know what I'm allowed to show. So check out the Instagram if you want to see more. But long story short, I got treated to some lunch, got some cool clothing, had some good chats with my DJI rep, and overall it was a lovely time. All right, so we have made it to DJI headquarters. They treated me so well. I know this might seem extremely biased, but the amount of technology in this small thing is ridiculous. We've already talked about how the microphone receivers connect straight to the pocket, which is very underrated because if you've been there with the DJI mic, skin the aux cord, plug it into the receiver, that takes so much effort in itself. You gotta bring more stuff, it's annoying, but connecting straight to the thing, it's priceless, and it would honestly encourage me to film better audio. Let's talk about video quality really quick, and the quality that comes out of this is remarkable. I think the 3-axis gimbal does wonders because there's a lot of low-key things that you don't really notice because there is a 3-axis gimbal. For example, if you watch iPhones at low light, what happens is there's small jitters because it's gyro stabilization that tries to crop in the image so that it's very stabilized. That causes these micro blurs when it's late at night and there's a bug in front of me. But because this is an actual 3-axis gimbal, you won't have those problems, and low light you won't get those micro jitters which are not pleasant at all. People have been comparing this a lot to an iPhone. This is better than iPhone, take my word for it. Another example is these magnetic ND filters. They are very, very easy to use, snaps on great. iPhones, you can't use ND filters. You can't control the shutter speed unless you use a different app, and that's another hassle in itself. The quality of the video itself, 4K 120, looks beautiful. You can control the sharpness, 10-bit color. You can match colors pretty easily in my opinion. Looks pretty good, definitely passable for social media by a mile. The only slight letdown is 3K 60 when you shoot vertically because we're only using the top part of the sensor. The camera doesn't actually fully rotate, which is fair enough because I've talked to the engineers and basically it's very hard to keep things vertical and actually stabilize using a 3-axis gimbal because this thing is so small. Moving on to active track. Active track is remarkable. Like, you don't even have to be good at filmmaking. The fact that it has a gimbal, I film videos running like this where the active track is on and it tracks the subject perfectly and it's like low effort, nothing, anyone can do it. So it's like leveling up filmmaking. Normally you have to get a camera. If it's handheld, you have to ninja walk very well. But no, because this is on the axis gimbal, you can just like walk whatever you want like this, blind, and it will take an amazing video. The active track is a huge win. There's also like a face detect mode, which is really handy. You can't just point the thing to you, you look at it, and then it will naturally track you once it recognizes your face. I did notice when it gets a bit dark, the tracking does start to fall off a bit, but look, fair enough. There's a dynamic tracking mode that kind of keeps you on a certain portion of the screen. That's a bit of a gimmick at times, depends if you want your person to be like the bottom left, bottom right, but in general, middle tracking shots are very common in Hollywood, and that's probably what you're going to do 90% of the time anyway. You can also do a little like spin rotate thing, but you can also just put this in FPV mode. So all those like cool Instagram edits where like you're whooshing, orbiting something and transitioning to different things. It's very cool, very easy to do on the Pocket, which is amazing. Now, really quickly talking about photos, this is probably where it's going to let down a little bit because gimbals are kind of hard to move around if you're trying to take a photo. I've opened the gimbal here. If you're taking a photo, let's say you want to go pan upwards, Like it does kind of, but you can't really see the screen. It doesn't flip out or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. So photos aren't that great. The quality would be great, obviously, but it's just slightly more of a pain trying to take a photo like this. And for example, if you want to do, let's just say a vertical photo with the full sensor, like I guess you can take it like that, horizontal, but it's just a bit weird. Honestly, for photos, proper camera would be better, but it's a small compromise for this amazing video, in my opinion, and video is taking over the world. All right, so we've also got a bunch of different modes like hyperlapses, time lapses. Honestly, whatever you think a camera should do, this can probably do it. The usability on this camera is also outstanding. Like if you cover the mic with your hand, there's somehow a sensor that tells you the microphone has been blocked. Like, come on, that's so good. This new 2-inch screen is extremely handy as well. It's nice and overexposed there, but honestly, very easy to use. There's so many different options that you can customize. You can create your own custom presets if you want certain settings so you can switch quickly. The modes are great. You got the dial to recenter things. If you're worried about a difficult shooting experience, you shouldn't be, because it is honestly so good, so easy to use, and basically any beginner can use it, which is absolutely wild. All right, so let's quickly talk about the cons of the Pockets. Personally, people talk about battery life, but I think the battery life is okay. Like I haven't really had that much problems. Fast charging as well on this thing, so you really don't need to worry that much. If you get the creator combo, you get an extra charger, you get all this cool stuff, mini tripod as well, get a mic, which is honestly pretty worth it in my opinion. But let's get back to actual negatives. I think a big bummer is that it doesn't actually truly turn vertical, which might need an engineering feat for that to happen, unfortunately. I also mentioned active track at nighttime gets a little bit suspect, which is like fair enough. Maybe we could increase the dynamic range just a little bit. Dlog M does do a pretty decent job, so I'm really not too fast. I do think it's good enough. Magnetic filters, maybe it is a bit difficult, but again, just buy the DJI ones. And overall, like that's really it. I think when we talk about price in a really quick second, there's nothing that really compares to this. 1-inch sensor in the palm of your hands, put in your pocket, so convenient. This would be the perfect tool to make some good videos, TikToks, content creation, whatever you want in 2023 and moving to 2024. The question is, should you buy it? And talking about price, in Australia, the creator combo is about 1.1K. That is a very good deal. You get so many things. Cameras with a 1-inch sensor don't even cost 1.1K. So really, like there's nothing that compares to this. There's so much tech packed into this. I'm excited about this camera. I've used this camera, I've enjoyed it. Honestly, if you're thinking about content creation, you're thinking about this camera, just send it. You'll be very, very pleased. It's an incredible camera. And look, I play with full frame cameras, expensive full frame cameras. I had joy filming with this. It's just so easy. You just run around, get an amazing shot, and then just put in your pocket. Like you won't mess it up because the tracking does great. There's a gimbal. You're not gonna be worried about shakes. I could go on about this forever. I think I've talked enough. Those are the main features that I'm excited for. Try to keep these quick. If you enjoyed, this is DJI headquarters. I know I sound fairly biased or whatnot, but look, the tech in here is outstanding. I've brought this on my 100 days of travel, traveling for 3 months. I have no suitcase space. So if I'm bringing this, it's definitely worth it. And it is not a fad. Anyway, if you enjoyed, subscribe, like, and I'll catch you on the next one in the next adventure.